I am Julius Caesar, not the marble statue you have seen, but the man who chose ambition over safety. I rose in a republic that feared kings. I built alliances where others built enemies. I crossed a river that was never meant to be crossed. And I learned, too late, that power does not destroy a man. It reveals who around him was always afraid. This is not my biography. It is a lesson written in ambition, sealed in betrayal, and paid for in blood. Tonight, I am not a statue. I am not a chapter in a book. I am a man who rose higher than any Roman before him. And I am a man who bled on cold marble floors because I misunderstood something fundamental about power. Listen to me carefully, because the world you live in is not Rome, and yet it is exactly Rome. The faces have changed. The weapons have changed. The arenas are digital instead of marble. But ambition still burns the same. Ego still blinds the same. Fear still kills the same. I was born in a republic already rotting from the inside. Senators called it freedom. Generals called it honor. But beneath the speeches was rivalry, insecurity, and hunger for dominance. As a young man, I was ordered by the dictator Sulla to divorce my wife to prove loyalty. It would have made my life easier. It would have secured protection. I refused. Not because I was fearless, but because I understood something even in youth. If you begin your life by surrendering your principles for convenience, you will spend the rest of it surrendering more. You live in an age of constant pressure to conform, to signal loyalty, to fit into systems that reward obedience. Be careful. The first compromise feels small. The second feels strategic. The third becomes identity. Guard your core early. It becomes harder to retrieve later. I did not rise because of noble birth alone. Rome was crowded with noble names. I rose because I made myself indispensable. I mastered rhetoric. I studied law. I understood people. I learned how crowds think. I learned what soldiers need to hear. I learned what enemies fear most. When pirates captured me in my youth, they demanded ransom. I laughed at them and told them they were foolish. I was worth more than they were asking. They thought it arrogance. It was certainty. When I was freed, I hunted them down and crucified them. Cruel, perhaps. But here is the lesson for you. The world measures you by how you measure yourself. If you shrink, it discounts you. If you hesitate, it doubts you. If you project weakness, it exploits you. Build your competence so deeply that your confidence is not performance. It is fact. Later, I formed an alliance with Pompey and Marcus Licinius Crassus, what history calls the first triumvirate. It was brilliant. It was effective. It was fragile. We were not bound by loyalty. We were bound by benefit. Understand this deeply. Alliances based on mutual gain survive only as long as gain remains mutual. When Crassus died, balance vanished. When my daughter, Pompey's wife, died, emotional glue dissolved. Politics replaced partnership. Look at your own life. Who stands with you because they believe in you? And who stands with you because you are useful? Ambition attracts proximity. Character attracts loyalty. Do not confuse the two. Then came Gaul. 10 years of war. 10 years of blood, mud, cold nights, and relentless campaigns. From 58 to 50 BCE, I pushed Rome's borders farther than they had ever been pushed. At the Battle of Alesia, I faced a nightmare. Surrounded by enemies outside the walls, rebels trapped within. I did not retreat. I built 2 fortifications, one facing outward, one facing inward, and I crushed them between. That victory made me untouchable in the eyes of the people. and intolerable in the eyes of the Senate. Here is a truth few tell you. Your success will inspire some. It will threaten others. The greater your ascent, the more it exposes insecurities around you. When you rise, stay observant. The applause grows louder, but so does the resentment. Eventually, the Senate ordered me to return to Rome without my army. They wanted my obedience. They wanted to remind me who held authority. I stood before the Rubicon in 49 BCE. Crossing it meant civil war. Not crossing it meant surrender. There are moments in life when you face a river that cannot be uncrossed, a decision that divides your life into before and after. I crossed. History praises courage. It rarely speaks of the cost. Civil war followed. Roman fought Roman. The Republic fractured further. I defeated Pompey at the Battle of Pharsalus. He fled and was murdered in Egypt before I arrived. Victory felt hollow, because when rivals disappear, you inherit not peace, but vacuum. And vacuums create instability. When I returned, I was named dictator for life. I restructured debts, expanded citizenship, reformed governance. I introduced what you now call the Julian calendar, aligning time itself more accurately. I believed I was stabilizing Rome. Many believed I was becoming a king. Intent does not control perception. You may see yourself as a reformer. Others may see you as a threat. Leadership requires more than vision. It requires reading the emotional climate of your environment. Power isolates. Slowly. Quietly. At first, you are surrounded. Advisors, admirers, supporters. Then slowly, you are insulated. Criticism fades, warnings soften, and you begin to believe your own legend. On the Ides of March, 44 BCE, I entered the Senate despite warnings. I dismissed the signs. I believed my achievements protected me. They did not. More than 60 men conspired. Among them were men I had pardoned, men I had elevated, led by Marcus Junius Brutus and Gaius Cassius Longinus, 23 wounds. But understand this clearly. I was not killed by daggers alone. I was killed by accumulated fear, by unchecked dominance, by the illusion that success makes you untouchable. Complacency is the final enemy of the powerful. If you build influence, stay aware. If you build wealth, stay grounded. If you build authority, stay humble enough to hear discomfort before it becomes rebellion. After my death, Rome did not return to its old republic. Chaos followed. Eventually, my adopted heir, Augustus, rose and transformed Rome into an empire. They thought killing me would restore balance. Instead, it accelerated transformation. Here is perhaps the most important lesson I can give you. History moves forward whether you are alive to witness it or not. So ask yourself, are you building something that survives you? Or are you building something that collapses without you? Ambition is not evil. Without ambition, I would have remained insignificant. Without ambition, Gaul would not have been conquered. Without ambition, Rome would not have transformed. But ambition without restraint becomes domination. Domination breeds fear, fear breeds conspiracy, and conspiracy breeds downfall. So live boldly, but live consciously. Build strength, but build trust alongside it. Chase excellence, but examine your motives. Win, but do not humiliate. Lead, but do not isolate yourself from truth. And never believe the story about yourself so completely that you stop questioning it. I rose higher than any Roman before me. I commanded legions. I shaped laws. I bent history. And yet, in the end, I was still human. You are human too. Do not wait for betrayal to teach you humility. Do not wait for collapse to teach you balance. Learn from my ascent. Learn from my fall. And remember, the most dangerous moment in your life is not when you are struggling. It is when you believe you cannot be touched.